Chapter 714. Yggdrasil's power, reputed to be stronger than any other awakener in the world, was in fact neither infinite nor perfect. Using opposing elements like fire and water simultaneously would halve their strength. Moreover, employing more than two attributes at once led to excessive power consumption, significantly slowing mobility and decision making. Although capable of handling multiple attributes, using them all at once or indiscriminately would inevitably lead to limitations for a human. Overexertion often resulted in significant repercussions and after effects, much like other awakeners. Thus, either typically focused on a single attribute or combined two that enhanced each other's power for maximum efficiency. This approach was proven and established through extensive training and combat. In situations requiring the decision suppression of an enemy with a single attribute, none was as formidable as Earth. Earth did not possess the inherent demanding power of fire upon contact, nor the delicate control of water beneficial in daily life, nor was it like a wind and metal which enhanced mobility or created opportunities when integrated into different combat styles. However, everything in the world ultimately rests upon the earth, originating or connecting to it. Even monsters not native to this land appeared to treading upon it. Hence, it had a broader range of use than any other attribute, and using it for attacks had a very low failure rate. The realization that the seemingly perpetual solidity beneath one's feet was not a given often led to an instinctual fear for life. Yes, Team Toph. Wait, does Uther have all powers of Avatar? Therefore, when Uther's eyes burst into golden light and the ground began to tremble, the southern swordsman did not hesitate to swing his sword toward him. Though not as complete as that of a swordmaster, his aura's fragment, mixed with the power of an awakener, surged towards Uther with intensified force. But the attack did not reach Uther. As the mass of energy almost struck him, a sudden wall of earth rose, blocking it. Bang! The earth wall shattered, exploding. Despite expecting a significant impact, Uther emerged from the dust unscathed. Seeing his pale, cold face, the southerner swordsman furrowed his brow, then gripped his sword and leaped to the side. His sword, moving at a speed difficult for ordinary eyes to follow, continued its attack. But earthen walls, as tall as a man and square in shape, emerged here and there, perfectly blocking every assault. Bang, 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 bang. No matter how unexpectedly the attacks came, what crumbled was not Uther but the walls. The collapsing earth returned to its place unharmed, making it feel as if throwing fragile eggs against an opponent clad in an earthen armor. Resorting to tricks, I see. Then, how about this? After hurling a mass of energy, the southern swordsman leaped over the rising earth wall in a blink, aiming a downward strike at Uther, who was supposed to be behind it. A feint targeting close quarters combat. The audacious attack, executed with incredible speed, left no time for preparation, but Uther was not beneath the descending sword. What? Within the slowly unfolding vista, the southern swordsman saw Uther standing farther away than he had anticipated. When did he get there? Their eyes met, and Uther's golden irises shone vividly. Uther opened his mouth and murmured softly, "Try rolling around yourself." Captivated by those eyes, which seemed not of a human but of another being, the southern swordsman silently landed below on the seemingly solid ground. Or he had attempted to. Huh? Just before his feet touched the ground, it suddenly gave way beneath him. He nearly plummeted into a pit, swamp-like in its nature, before hastily catching onto a firmer section and leaping out. But as he moved, the earth continued to soften and collapse beneath him, making it impossible to find solid footing again. What is this? With no time to even speak, as the ground kept collapsing, he desperately used his abilities to leap, trying to land on still intact patches of earth. The entire garden of the Conche barony seemed like a notorious desert quicksand. Large ornamental rocks and tall trees were engulfed and unsightly disappeared into the sinking earth. Every time he managed to land on a slightly firmer patch and launch an attack, another earthen wall would rise, block it, and burst into oblivion. It felt unlike fighting a small boat adrift in a vast sea, more like facing a vast, untamable force of nature. How can a human wield such power? This was unthinkable. He had never heard of a human wielding power in this manner, let alone manipulating such a vast expanse of land as if it were his own limbs. This was a level of power impossible unless one was prepared to die right there. There is no way he can go on forever. If I just endure, he too will reach his limit. With this thought, the southern swordsman ceased his attempts to attack Ydir, focusing instead on dodging the crumbling ground and buying time. Sure enough, as soon as he started to hold on for a while to see if it really was effective, the speed at which the ground collapsed began to slow down little by little. Just a bit longer. But then it happened. Sir Aton? Startled by the sudden shout, he turned to see his comrade who had been struck down by a dagger, now lying half buried in the collapsing earth. While he was attacking Ydir, his comrade had regained consciousness and retreated, but was swept up in the collapsing ground, unable to escape due to severe wounds. Despite desperately enhancing his body's strength to escape, the relentless dragging pull of the sinking earth rendered it futile. The terror in his face as he was inexorably drawn down betrayed his belief at dying in such a manner, despite being trained to do anything to achieve his objectives. Grinding his teeth, the southern swordsman leaped high, using his power to land on the stable earth. His fingertips, transformed into the paws of a mighty beast, barely grasped the collar of his comrade, still precariously clinging on. But as his own footing began to shake and sink, his comrade, panic-stricken, cried out, "You mustn't! Get away! Get away! At this rate, Sir Aton will—" "Quiet! Don't open your mouth." Opening one's mouth was an invitation for the earth's debris to enter, a death sentence even before being rescued. As the southern swordsman began to exert more strength, he suddenly heard footsteps from behind. The sound of a hunter approaching to claim its prey driven into a corner. Turning his head, he saw Ydir approaching, his sword arm dangling. Ydir's torn clothes and dirt-covered body resembled theirs. Seeing Ydir's face paler than before, the southern swordsman believed his guess was right. As a human, Ydir too had naturally reached his limit. Proving his conjecture, the collapsing earth dragging his comrade also began to subside gradually. He is exhausted too. There is no doubt about his limit. Then, what a joke. Ydir reaching limit? Ha! The southern swordsman looked down at his comrade he was pulling. To increase his own chances of survival, the best course seemed to abandon his comrade and re-grip his sword to attack Ydir. Even though the sinking had slowed, the ground was already deeply hollowed. It was uncertain whether his half-buried comrade could survive. The southern swordsman looked down. There was only one choice to make. "I'm sorry." With gritted teeth, he released the grip on his comrade's collar. "Ah!" He gripped his sword while hearing the screams of his comrade being swallowed back into the hollowed ground. However, in that moment of decision, when he turned his head again, what he faced was a wave of earth rising like a high mountain, with Ydir standing atop it. Ydir, gazing emotionlessly at the southern swordsman, stood with his feet on the ground with that eerily calm, as if all these events were of no concern to him. His pale face, unchanging even while moving an unimaginable, almost inhuman strength, resembled a grim reaper watching someone facing death. In that instant, the southern swordsman realized he wasn't using his full strength until now, and even now. Ydir had deliberately set a trap, playing with him cruelly and flawlessly. He had made him roll on the ground just as he had done, but with an even more overwhelming force. As this realization hit him, a wave of earth like a tidal wave engulfed the southern swordsman, burying him deep below.